Animal testing has a long history rooted in countries across the world. Starting in ancient Greece, philosophers like Aristotle and Diocles performed dissection and vivisection on animals to understand their anatomy and physiology better. Over time, this research has allowed humans to develop a basis of medical knowledge. According to Britannica, by the 19th and 20th centuries, animal testing had become a key component of biomedical research, with advances such as the development of vaccines and the discovery of insulin, antibiotics, and anesthetics. Specifically, in the field of cosmetics, without animal testing, many released products would end up severely harming its consumers. A popular example given by Sarah Sherman is Lash Lure, a product that caused dermatitis, corneal ulceration, and necrosis, and even resulted in one death. The overall debate on animal testing has revolved around different ideologies, one being the importance of ethics in treating animals with respect, and the other side acknowledging that animal testing is a necessary evil in order to help cure diseases and save more people in the long run. All things considered, animal testing should be illegal due to it causing cruel and intense suffering, results being inaccurate, and the availability of other methods. First, animal testing causes pain and suffering to all sorts of creatures. Initially, before animal testing was popular, many people believed that animals did not feel pain and therefore testing on them was not unethical. However, according to Julian Copeland, modern findings have led to the scientific consensus that mammals, birds, and other animals are capable of feeling pain and pleasure. With this new understanding, it's imperative that animals are given rights similar to humans that protect their bodily autonomy. The pain that animals go through in experimentation reaches a variety of areas. First, according to Engdahl, animals endure emotional trauma through isolation in cages. Next, they go through a series of painful exposure to chemicals. Sherman states that cosmetic trials involve many horrendous tests, including rabbits being shaved, held down, and having chemicals rubbed into their skin and dropped into their eyes, all of which is done without anesthesia or pain relief. And finally, once this trauma is over, the animals involved in the experiment are often euthanized. Beyond just painful tests, Sherman revealed that certain animals, like mice, are used to test cosmetics and are given a lethal dose by force feeding ingredients to rats and measuring the dosage at which death occurs. Objectively, in order to figure out the safety and effectiveness of products using animals, pain and suffering are inevitable outcomes. With the scientific understanding that most animals do, in fact, experience pain, we are intentionally causing suffering to creatures. Since this type of behavior, when applied to humans, is illegal, animals are deserving of the same rights and protections that we are given. Next, animal testing should be illegal as it does not produce accurate results. Since animal testing causes pain, in order for the process to even be somewhat ethical, there must be a meaningful outcome of the research. But as it turns out, more often than not, this is not the case. In fact, according to Engdahl, 9 out of 10 drugs that appear promising in animal studies go on to fail in human clinical trials. Put in other terms, 9 out of 10 times the suffering animals are put through just goes to waste. This clearly means 90% of the time animal testing is completely pointless. With those odds, it becomes pretty clear that animal testing is unethical and should be illegal. But why is this? The reason for such extreme inaccuracy is that different species have very different physiological systems. For example, Engdahl states acetaminophen is poisonous to cats but is therapeutic in humans. Penicillin is toxic to guinea pigs but has been an invaluable tool in human medicine. Morphine causes hyperexcitement in cats but has a calming effect in patients. And the list goes on. At the end of the day, this research is not only harmful but a complete waste of time and money. For example, Engdahl reported that Pfizer stated in 2004 it had wasted more than $2 billion over the past decade on drugs that failed in advanced human testing or in a few instances were forced off the market because of liver toxicity problems. Beyond just the obvious cruelty of animal experimentation, it also tends to be a waste of resources. This fact alone makes it very obvious that animal testing should be illegal, so that money and time can be focused on more effective methods. Which leads me to my next point, which is that there are growing alternatives that can replace animal testing and therefore it is no longer necessary. Authors Greg Williams and Laura Thomas explain that non-animal models are a set of alternative models that use human cells, tissue, and data. Not only does this method avoid torturing animals, but it has also proven to be more consistently accurate. With the precision of non-animal models, it no longer makes sense to intentionally harm living creatures in the process of product engineering. One of these great new alternatives is computer simulation models. If the government would help subsidize this method, it would be a fantastic opportunity for the drug research field to become more accurate and more ethical. Additionally, organ on a chip is another rising alternative. Author Harriet Brown explained that these organs on a chip are small plastic devices that lined with human tissue that mimic the function of organs. They are being used to study diseases, test new drugs, and explore personalized treatments. The development of this technology has the potential to revolutionize medicine by providing safer and more effective drugs. All things considered, it becomes very evident that animal testing has become an outdated method that should be illegal and replaced with more effective options. In total, animals feel pain just like humans do. It's important to ask ourselves, how would we like to be treated? And we need to apply those principles to the care that we give other living creatures. Animal testing is needlessly cruel and causes serious physical and mental harm to test subjects. Additionally, the suffering is meaningless, and the results it yields are almost always inaccurate. It ends up wasting time and money in the process. And finally, animal testing has become the worst option compared to new age technology that explores drug reactions. As humans beings with a conscience, we must advocate for creatures without voices and demand that our government bans animal testing.